Hey, what is up guys, your boy Izukage here with part 4 of What If Deku Was Black. Let's begin. Shigaraki had just announced his plans to the class and Aizawa instructed 13 to protect the students while he goes and fights. Aizawa ran towards the villains and used his eyes to cancel their quirks, then wrapped them up in his scarf. Bakugo just couldn't sit still, so he ran down the staircase towards Aizawa, but was blocked by this purplish portal, and the portal then began to spread, sending him along with the members of Class 1A to different disaster areas in the USJ. Deku found himself in a large lake and two sharp villains were rushing towards him. Before Deku could use his quirk, Froppy came in and saved him and brought him onto the boat with Minato. Froppy was thinking of a plan, but Deku already came up with one. Hey Froppy, Minato, close your eyes. Well, why, Ribbit? Just do it. Froppy listened and closed their eyes, but Minato was a bit more curious, so his eyes were half open. Deku pulled out a fully automatic M4 and started spraying down the villains in the water, along with some on land. Deku made the gun disappear and turned around to a scared Minato and curious Froppy. What was that sound? Don't worry about it. Let's get out of here. Deku grabbed onto them and jumped off the boat using One for All in his legs. On land, Aizawa was fighting the Nomu, but he was obviously losing. The Nomu went in for a right hook, which was going to connect before a shirtless Izuku caught the punch and sent the Nomu back an inch with a 50% smash, causing his arm to tense up in pain. Deku looked up to the monster before getting punched back into Aizawa, then the two flying into a wall. Deku, having enough of this, started transforming into his Street Fighter form. He donned a silky do-rag and sagging pants. His style of walking became irregular and hard to track, similar to Rock Lee's drunk fighting style. Deku ran towards the Nomu, disappearing from its vision before reappearing, getting punched in the back. The Nomu stumbled forward before swinging at Deku, who would lean back dodging the punch, then sprang back up landing a barrage of punches at the Nomu using 100% smashes. The Nomu absorbed the attacks but was visibly dazed. With both his arms broken, Deku decided to finish this in one punch. One for all. 1000%. Texas Smash! Deku punched the Nomu with so much force that its body couldn't move and just exploded in blood and guts on impact. Everyone in the USJ was surprised at this display of power. Deku then shifted his focus towards Shigaraki. Kirigiri knew this wasn't a winning situation, so he teleported Shigaraki back to the villain base before anything could happen to the young master. Shigaraki began throwing a fit, saying, "This isn't fair. They weren't supposed to win." Basically throwing a tantrum. Back at the USJ, Deku began taking care of the rest of villains. And when the heroes from UA arrived, they arrested the captured villains and helped out Aizawa and Deku, who were badly injured. Deku was praised by the heroes for his heroic work, and after the incident, the class was given a 2-week break. On the first day of the break, Izuku and Jiro went out on a date to the movies, where they watched Hereditary, a horror movie story about a grieving family that doesn't exactly end well. Deku got some advice from one of his only close friends from UA, Kirishima, who told him that horror movies will get the girl scared, and that would lead to her cuddling on him for safety. Basically 200 IQ plays. After the movie, Deku went over to Jiro's house for the first time, and he met her parents and talked over dinner. Deku decided to spend the night since it was so late, but Jiro's parents were strict, so he had to sleep in the couch, not her room. Before they went to bed, Deku and Jiro were texting. "Sorry, my parents don't really want a guy in my room, especially at night." "Yeah, don't worry, it's fine, but you owe me one." Jiro sent laughing emojis and said sure. The next day, Jira and Deku were getting everything together for their 1-week tour through Osaka and Kyoto in 2 days. The two were excited and made sure everything was perfect. When Izuku went home, his mom told him that she'll be going out for some groceries. Deku didn't think anything of it before realizing that she had dressed up in her best dress and had makeup on. He smirked and shouted as she was closing the door, "Tell your boyfriend hi for me." Inko blushed and quickly shut the door. Deku's smirk grew even wider, realizing he was home alone. He called Jira and said he needed her to come over because of some music stuff. She understood and within 5 minutes was at his door. She kept ringing the doorbell, but no one was answering. She then thought, she's a part of the family, so she tried opening the door, and to her surprise, it was unlocked. She slowly walked in to see the well-lit living room, but no one in sight. She began walking upstairs where she heard faint music. She opened Izuku's bedroom to see a nice candlelit room, but before she could finish checking it out, someone hugged her from behind. What the? Oh, it's you. Don't scare me like that. Deku smiled and lifted Jira up, placing her on the bed. But his leg accidentally hit his desk and a box fell on the bed, with a note attached. It read, "I don't want any grandkids yet. Inko." Deku smiled and his appreciation for his mom grew, as it seemed she had future vision or something. Deku was brought out of his thought by a warm feeling on his lips. He opened his eyes to see Jiro and yeah, I'm just gonna skip all that. You know what happened, use your imagination. The next morning, Deku woke up and went downstairs, still in his underwear and hair all messy. He checked his phone and realized the date and got a boost of energy. He went to wake up Jiro, telling her they have to pack for tomorrow. She too got a boost of energy, but her stomach was still hurting from last night, and she helped Deku pack his stuff before both went to her place and packed her things. And by sunset they were ready for their musical journey to 2 major cities in Japan. The first day of the tour went well, hundreds of thousands of people showing up in support, even his classmates. The tour went on, and Deku making a name for himself in more rural areas of Japan without any internet. Needless to say, everyone in Japan loved Lil Oife, and his eyes were set on foreign countries, some already having heard of the Japanese rapper. After his tour, Deku counted his small fortune and he decided to invest in a property in the Yayurozu estate, which was owned by, you could guess, Momo's father. He bought the house as somewhere he wants to go to be alone with Jiro, and he wants to eventually move in when he graduates from UA. While checking out the house, he saw a familiar face across the street. It was his classmate, Momo. He ran up to her, greeting her, telling her about his new house. Momo was shocked at first, but realized that he could afford it because he was famous, so why not? After a little talk with Momo, flirting, here and there, just spitting game, she gave him a little peck on the cheek and told him see you later before running inside the house blushing. Deku smiled, shouting goodbye, and went home. The next day, before school started, Deku invited Jiro's parents and his parents over to get everyone acquainted. The two families just stared in awe at the house when they arrived, and if I found a good house online, I'll show you, what it looks like right now. Alright, good, let's get back to it. They walked through the almost endless rooms and entered the backyard, which was a pool and a natural pond with koi fish in it. The families all sat around a table in the spacious backyard and began talking, getting to know each other. Then Deku and Jiro brought out a spread of different dishes from different cuisines. By the end of dinner, everyone's plate was clean and they were stuffed with food. Jiro and Deku were barely awake, but their families carried them to their old houses where they still had to go because they had school tomorrow. This video is going to be a bit shorter than usual. I just want to put all the sports festival arc in one video, so part 5 will just be only the sports festival arc, so yeah. If you guys liked the video, like. If you didn't, dislike, and leave me some feedback in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.